It was the great Johnny Cash who once said, "On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I wish it, Lord, that I was stoned." And boy, now that I'm here recording this podcast on a Sunday, I'm really starting to understand what he meant when he said that. Welcome back to the 10-8 round podcast, the most electric podcast in MMA today. I, as always, your humble narrator, Zach from Filthy Philadelphia, am joined by the handsome, the incomparable John Boy down there in sunny Fort Lauderdale, Florida. John Boy, it's been too long.
It's been too long. I missed that intro too much, man.
It's been too long. We're getting love from the people, wondering where we've been, where we hiding at. I mean, first of all, you wanna shout out the boy Remy. You got to shout him out.
Yeah,
For keeping us accountable.
Yeah, Rem's the man. Watched the fights with him this past week, and dude, we love it. We love the encouragement. We feel the love from the fans. It means the world to us. Keep it up. That's who we do it for.
That's who we do it for.
We got a new motivation, and we're ready to go, baby. Sunday sit down, trying something a little new. Let's see how it goes.
Oh no, let's see where it's at. Yeah, while we're doing shout outs, obviously I gotta circle back. First of all, I'll join in that shout out and a big 10-8 salute to the homie Remy. He hits us up on, he obviously is your boy from way back. He hits me up on the DMs, keeps me accountable, lets me know that what we're doing is working. Rem, it is all love. Can't wait till we can all get together and watch some fights. Shout out also to longtime pod fans, Bishop and Steph. And their son Cam, they are all three huge fans. Was with them last night. They were letting us know the 10-8's the most electric game in town.
Much love.
So love that. Big shout outs. Big shout outs to our homie Jack Sudduth. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Kid is an absolute jiu-jitsu stud. Every time I hop on Instagram, I see another video of him choking somebody and winning some gold in jiu-jitsu. He reached out to let us know we're the most electric game in town. So big shout out to Jack. Keep choking them and keep letting the 10-8 be your mellow out after jiu-jitsu. Let that be the us. Let that be what brings you home. You know what I'm saying?
Find some balance, baby.
Find that balance. Find that balance, kid. And we love to have you here. Stay with it. And seriously, that kid, if anybody listening right now has been moved by the jiu-jitsu talks, give the kid a follow on Instagram. He is, I think, well on his way to being a jiu-jitsu stud. Seems like that's all this kid wants in his life is jiu-jitsu. And I love that dedication. Love the jam.
Respect that.
And gotta shout out the homies at MPR MMA. Took some pictures for them last week. Our homie Jillian, who fought this weekend, I think she took a little bit of a tough loss, but she was looking good, getting ready. The homie Chase, who brought home a first round TKO, looking like a stud out there. Shout out just to Eric Purcell for running a great team over there. I took some pictures of them. I'm going to take some more for them in the future. Everybody in that gym is an absolute killer. They got a killer squad up there, Langhorne, Pennsylvania. They're doing big things. And last shout out, I feel like we got to shout out our new friend, our new homie. Met him last night on Snyder Ave, South Philly, getting filthy. Alex Caceres just hanging out, shirtless with a brew, talking anime on the streets of Philadelphia. One of the coolest people I've probably ever met. Is now a confirmed friend of the pod. Alex, what up, big homie?
Dude, love that. Bruce Leroy, a legend of the game.
Yeah.
Shout out Alex Caceres, baby.
Yeah, big shout out. Dude was absolutely cool. He was as cool as you'd expect him to be from seeing like post-fight interviews and other interviews that he's done. And just like he lived up to the hype of how cool you'd expect him to be. So love that. Damn, we're starting off with love bomb. We're love bombing the fans today.
Nothing wrong with some love, baby.
The world needs more love, needs more loving violence. And that's what we're bringing here. You can get right into it. You want to get down to business? You want to do what we came here to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a minute, but I feel like we got to talk about UFC 278, right?
Got to.
Some crazy shit went down.
Ooh.
To say the very least. We got some new sayings. We got some new terminology. We got some new motivation from the new champ.
Yeah, we do. Rocky Edwards is motivating me every morning.
Yeah, goddamn.
I gotta tell you, between one on Prime Video 1 and UFC 278, I don't know how long this Kill Cliff CBD is going to last. I might be going through it pretty quickly to keep the nerves low, because I'm here right now, and I got to get here. I got to get here.
It's hard to contain that excitement. It's hard to keep in what we saw. I'm still processing it, to be completely honest with you. It doesn't really feel real.
I might need therapy. I don't know yet. I'm going to say
we can get right into it. Right. We'll do the three takeaways from UFC, and then I'm going to hand it over to Zach for the one. Number one takeaway. And I was watching it with Rem. And one thing that we really noticed about this card in Salt Lake City is, man, is the elevation real.
Yo, boy.
We saw a plethora of fighters gas out, and it wasn't guys who, you know, are known for gassing out. Guys who we known who have good cardio and good tanks just did not look the same. I have never seen Luke Rockhold mouth ajar, absolutely burnt out after the first round.
Hands on his knees.
Hands on his knees, mid-fight, just, I mean, and the guy's in tremendous shape. It was honestly a sight to see. That elevation, man, it took a toll on everybody. You saw it on Costa as well. His output was lower than usual. Aldo's output was lower than usual.
Yeah.
I know Marab's called the machine for a reason, because he puts tremendous pace on people. But you even heard Leon Edwards talk about it in the back, saying, why these guys look so tired. And then he gets in the ring and he's talking about how, you know, he couldn't get it going himself.
Yeah.
So, you know, that elevation is a real thing. And guys got to be wary of that when they sign contracts, man.
They ain't playing in Salt Lake.
No.
That elevation's real.
Facts.
That was something to see, man. And the announcers were talking about it. And I don't think I really even grasped it until I saw the Rockhold Costa fight. And I saw just how absolutely gassed those two are. And I was like, these are not two dudes who gas out like that. You know, not in the first round, maybe in the third of a hard fought fight. I can get it. I can understand it. But in the first, that altitude shit is real.
Yeah, not really a ton of grappling, maybe a little bit, but just the output on these guys was so low. You know, that definitely played a role, and it was really interesting to watch some of that unfold.
Yeah, it was. Who do you think of that card, on that card, who do you think was most likely to engage in soaking?
The most likely to engage in soaking.
Most Paulo likely Costa. To give it a shot. Exactly. It is. It's Paulo Costa.
I mean, it's the obvious answer, right?
The obvious answer. You know, I'm thinking a chaste and honorable Mormon lass perhaps gets a look at Paulo Costa, gets a look at that physique, and she's thinking, let's get into bed and not move. Let's get into bed and stay completely prone.
Guy is built like a shit brick house. Puts us all to shame. You got to hide the ladies' eyes for the Paulo Costa Luke Rockhold fight.
Too pretty.
It is what it is, man. It's a little bit of motivation, maybe, but they put us to shame, Zach.
Yeah, they do. And I'm doing my best. I'm trying. I'm working hard, but it makes it a little harder to know that Paulo Costa exists in the same timeline as I do.
I got to get my hands on some of that secret juice.
You gotta get the Paulo secret juice. Yeah, that's the good stuff right there.
I think that might be the issue. We might have to reach out and see if we can acquire some of the Paulo Costa secret juice.
You know, obviously he's heard of the 10-8 pod. Obviously he's a fan, so I think it's pretty easy. You know, Paulo, when you check the episode out, you know, hit us up. We'll drop the addy on you in the DMs. You can send us that secret juice, and maybe we can get ourselves a little pump going here.
If we're lucky.
Better to be lucky than good, I always say. What do you think?
Well, we'll go to number 2 here, and
hit me with your number 2.
I don't think this is a controversial take. I think losing that fight for Luke Rockhold was the absolute best case scenario for his career, because he's definitely done. You know, right? He's retiring. We don't have to see him take any more damage. Because I don't know about you, but I was holding my breath every single time Costa cocked back. He looked like he caught him a couple times in the first round, and we were just going, oh, God, it's a matter of time. But then that elevation kicked in. That lactic acid started to build up on Costa. So luckily, we didn't get to see Luke get chinned again. But dude, he went out on such a high note. So much respect for Luke Rockhold. What a display of just heart and determination. It's one of those fights. It's like the Nate Diaz effect, right? Where the guy loses the fight, but he still wins.
Yeah.
It was good to see a legend go out like that, and props to Luke Rockhold, man.
Yeah, I think that's a take that's just right in the Goldilocks universe, right? That ain't too hot, that ain't too cold. Obviously, Luke Rockhold is a legend with nothing to prove. He was a Strikeforce champion, he's a UFC champion. Guy's a total stud. He's done male modeling. Like he's lived a more probably exciting life than and most people will ever dream of. And to go out like that in front of a crowd, that Salt Lake City crowd was rabid for violence.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe the Mormons' lack of caffeine and fun is what's doing it out there, but these people were ready for entertainment.
Yeah.
Went out and went out on a good note, right? I mean, did not get chinned, which could have happened. And not only didn't get chinned, had some moments in the fight where he looked good. He teed off on Costa a few times. His grappling looked pretty good. They gave it to Costa 30-27. I actually had the second round for Luke. I thought Luke might have stolen that second round. I understand why the judges gave it to Costa because of Luke having the hands on the knees, but
Yeah.
just it was an absolute war. If you didn't watch it, go watch it, if for no other reason than to watch Luke Rockhold rub blood from his own gushing eye all over Paulo Costa's face in the third round.
So badass.
Just, I mean, that's a level of excitement that you bring to the fans that is hard to replicate. So I couldn't agree more. Luke Rockhold does not owe the fans anything. That man has been exciting since day one, and to go out on a high note like that, boom, into the sunset.
Yeah, man. Especially for the new fans who don't know the Strikeforce Luke Rockhold. They don't know how dominant of a champion that guy was. So it was just awesome to go on a note like that. So happy for Rockhold. We'll go to number 3. This one's probably going to be the obvious one. This is the big takeaway from the night. Nobody saw this coming. And if you say you did, you're full of shit.
Liar.
There's no such thing. The pound for pound belongs to absolutely nobody. Quoted from the man himself, Leon Rocky Edwards. Head kick, headshot, pound for pound, dead. What was it? 56 seconds left in the fight?
Yeah.
Wins the first round. Gets pretty much dominated from pillar to post after that first round.
Yep.
And then sets up one of the absolute nastiest high left kicks I have ever seen. Something that you saw he was drilling in camp. And his corner definitely was looking to exploit. My third takeaway is that pound for pound belongs to absolutely nobody.
Yeah, that is completely fair. Just that head kick. First of all, and I've seen a few people say this, that he was lucky. No. Nope, no way. Not with that setup. Not with that setup. For anybody at this point who's been living under a rock and has not caught up on the finish, Leon Rocky Edwards throws a jab, gets Kamaru Usman to commit to feinting to his right, and as he feints to his right, Edwards throws up the left high kick, connects with the temple, and sends Usman into the shadow realm.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a thing lucky about it. I think that was good fighting, that was good IQ, and that was well done. And on top of that, also now has the dubious honor of being the first person to ever take Kamaru Usman down in the UFC. I think in his MMA career.
I'm not gonna lie. I think there's an asterisk to that. That's the official takedown. I do believe Kobe Covington took him down.
Had a few unofficials, which is why I do call it the dubious honor, right? It is a little bit dubious, but no denying Leon Edwards' takedown, inside leg trip and landed in full mount.
Yeah.
And then almost took his back.
Yeah. Ooh. Very, very clean. The rematch essentially has to happen, right? The dominant reign of Usman. It would be absolutely disrespectful if they did not rebook that fight. They both want it at Wembley. They both want it in England. That's the fight to make. I think Usman remains the favorite, the same as probably the opener.
Yeah.
And I think he probably will get it done in the rematch. But one thing I will say is when you eat a head kick like that and you go unconscious like that, your career trajectory can change drastically. And you see that with guys when they get knocked into Narnia, that brain doesn't take the same amount of damage that it could before. Something to keep an eye on with Usman. That'll be interesting going forward. You know, he's not very young either. So
yeah. No, I mean it's like watching a quarterback, in his first season in the NFL just get sack after sack after sack laid on him, and the phraseology there is that, he was hearing footsteps for the rest of his career, right? He's never quite right again. Even if Usman walks away from this not chinny, which can happen, and neither one of us is a medical doctor nor a scientist, but you'll see it, guys. Once they get knocked out once, it seems to change almost their brain chemistry a little bit. The next hard shot they take, now their chin is made of glass and they're dropping. Even if that's not the case, he may just be so concerned about that not happening again that now he's hearing footsteps in there, right? Now he's seeing that left kick around in every corner. I mean, sports psychology is a real thing, and I have to believe that if you're part of Usman's team, you're going to make sure he's getting his head on right before he takes that rematch.
Yeah, I mean, that's you get slept like that, and that's got to be in the back of your mind. I mean, Masvidal hasn't fought since he got slept by Usman, so
yeah,
taking time to gather themselves. It'll be interesting to see how Usman comes back, but god damn, we have a new champion at 170 pounds.
God damn is right. And now it seems like left kicks might be in the air. So I don't know if you've caught it on one. Panpayak Jitmunyang stepping in on late notice to fill in for friend of the pod, Rotang Jitmunyang, who unfortunately could not get through a hydration test during a weight cut. He was pulled from the card. His teammate Panpayak stepped in to fight Savas Michael from Cyprus, and Panpayak put a left shin across Savas Michael's face that honestly was almost, if not equally, as terrifying as the one we saw put across Usman's face. So I don't know if there's something in the air now for left kicks, but maybe if you're looking for a prop bet on DK bets, maybe left kicks.
And see, that was something too that I really noticed when I was watching a little bit of the one highlights. Is I love that a lot of the guys square up in that Muay Thai stance. You don't really
see Muay Thai fights.
No, I know that, but I'm talking about just stance wise. You don't see that a lot in the UFC now. There were guys who used to embody that, like Lyoto Machida was one of the first guys that kind of brought a heavy Muay Thai stance. And the UFC's kind of gone away from that. So it's really refreshing to see that in one. I like that style of fight because it's a little bit more vicious. To be honest, it's a lot more striking oriented, and it's cool to see. It's refreshing to see that. I like it.
Yeah, there was, and we'll get into it in a second. I've got some takeaways here from the one card, which was as I saw it put simply but beautifully on Twitter, what a day of violence from one. That was one hell of a card. But before we get there, I wanted to ask, since it's in the air and since you mentioned his name, what do you think about Masvidal trying to cut the line now? Masvidal wants that Edwards fight.
The storyline's there, right? The writing's on the wall, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. The three piece in the soda in England. Masvidal sees, his opportunity, but let's be real. He lost his last 3 fights, right? He's lost 3 of his last 4. Yeah, that's not the fight to make. You need to book Masvidal Burns, and the winner of that fight, maybe we could talk about it.
Maybe a contender shot.
But the worst possible thing for all those guys was a Leon Edwards win, right? Because now you got to wait for the rematch. These guys are going to have to fight somebody.
Yeah.
Masvidal is not skipping the line over Kamaru Usman.
No.
And I don't care how much more pay-per-views it would sell. You just can't do that to a champion of Kamaru Usman's stature.
Not only that, but I mean, the word out of Edwards' camp is that when Edwards wanted to fight Masvidal for all these years, Masvidal told him, "No, wait your turn. I'm not fighting you." So I don't know if you're game bred now. I don't know that you get to cut the line now that Leon Edwards did what nobody else could do.
I mean, it depends, right? If the money's right to entice Edwards, maybe is Masvidal the biggest draw at 170 right now, besides probably Hamza or Nate? Probably, right?
If I'm McMaynard or Sean Shelby, I'm probably going to book Masvidal Burns. You got Chimaev and Nate happening. The winner of those 2 fights has to fight each other. And then I think the winner of that fight gets the winner of the Edwards-Usman rematch.
What about Kobe though?
That's the weird thing is what about Colby Covington, right? What do we do with Colby?
He says
Yeah.
he says he's ready to go. So that's going to really throw a wrench into things because if there's anybody who could beat anybody at 170 on any given day, it's Colby Covington.
It is. Colby's wrestling undeniably so. So do you do this? Do you wait for Khamzat, Chimaev, and Nate to pit her out, get that done with, Burns and Masvidal, have those winner of those two fight Colby, and the winner of that one fights the winner of Edwards Usman?
You got to have Khamzat fight Kobe, in my opinion.
I think that's the fight you'd end up with, right? If you're to stack those all, because a lot of people were calling for the Burns Khamzat rematch. I don't know that you need it, but you're gonna get good entertainment value out of it.
Yeah, I honestly do believe that Burns and Masvidal are a tier down from Kobe and Khamzat. I believe that would really be like the true number one contender spot. But he's got to get through Nate. He's got to get through Nate. We talked about that this delusion of Diaz is at an all-time high right now. Smoking weed with USADA.
Love that.
I mean, he's bringing his A game. Last fight on his contract.
Yeah.
5 rounds. We've seen Khamzat's gas tank falter. Nate Diaz has got to get out of the couple rounds. We'll see. It'll make it interesting. I agree though. Give Colby the winner of Khamzat and Nate, and then we'll go from there.
Truthfully, if I'm the UFC, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to make something fun because there are so many people trying to cram through the door for a title shot at 170.
Yeah.
Let's bring back the tournament. Let's bring back the round robin. Let's have people fight for that title shot.
I love it. I love like the Bellator style format that they've been doing.
Exactly.
Line them up, put them in a bracket, and let the best man win. I mean, it's as simple as that.
That's it. Winner gets a title shot.
And you should have them all fight on the same night. How sick would that be?
That would be huge.
Just like a 170, 170 pay-per-view where you just have everybody in the tournament, first round of the tournament, fight it out. I feel like that'd be sick.
You could be cutting promos in the cage after winners got announced. I mean, the stoke there would be so high. As usual, Sean and Mick, just call us whenever you guys want somebody to do your job for you, because clearly we're out here doing it for free. Once again, making it look easy because this was off the top of our head. Yeah, this was easy. This is light work.
Yeah, this is live from the Sunday sit down. So
listen, UFC, whenever you're ready, just call us. We'll take the call.
We're here.
We're not too big. We're not too big. We're not Hollywood. We'll take that call. Whenever you're ready. What do you think? You ready for my 3 takeaways?
Yeah, let's hear it, Zach. Let's the one thing I will say is that was the debut on Amazon Prime, correct?
That was the one debut on Amazon Prime. Couple of hiccups getting to it. Some people were saying it was kind of hard to find on Amazon, but once they got there, the stream quality was good. The production quality was good, as always with one. They always do a good production quality. The fights were good. The fights were better than good. I mean, this was one of the better cards I've seen in a long time. And Chatri Sitdown, the president, CEO, and founder of One, was saying that they have a 70% finish rate in One. And I have not confirmed that statistic.
That Muay Thai stance.
But man, is that a high fucking finish percentage, dude. That's insane. That's wild. But no, I hope they continue to do that. I thought that was a fantastic way to do it. I liked watching it on One. I thought it was pretty easy to get to, pretty easy to tune in for. For anybody who hasn't checked it out yet, we debuted this week a new part of the 10-8 pod. We got the 10-8 blog live from the canvas. That is the official title for the 10-8 blog. I published a little something, a little preview for all you maniacs to check out for the One card. If you did check it out, Let us know on the socials. What'd you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And if you did like it, what do you want next? I'm going to try my best to give some attention on that blog to promotions that maybe don't get talked about on the pod main, right? On our main channel. You want to hear about a little bit of Bellator coming up. You want to talk PFL, CFFC, I think is a prime candidate to get a little blog written about it. So give us a holler. You want me to cover something, we love the fans. That's what we do this for. So I'm happy to do it. My first takeaway from the one card.
Let's hear it.
One might have the most exciting heavyweight division in the world.
Okay.
They really might. So the big focus is obviously on Marcus Almeida, aka Buchecha, who went out there and submitted Kirill. Oh, I'm gonna butcher his last name, so I'm not gonna try it. I had to actually look at it 3 times to write it for the blog, but leg locked his opponent in 36 seconds, I think. I just went out there through the double. The double got stuffed. And usually in heavyweight MMA, when your double leg gets stuffed, it means somebody's about to put their chest on your back and lay on you for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah. You're both going to huff and puff to your corner. It's going to be boring as shit for the rest of the fight as you throw haymakers at each other. Nope. Marcus Almeida, being one of the greatest jiu-jitsu competitors of all time, went out there after missing the double, got on a leg, and fucking heel hooked his opponent and won the fight in less than a minute. And it was fireworks, start to finish. Ali Akbari was the other heavyweight standout from that night. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler from Iran. He was fighting a gentleman from Italy. They had a back and forth gas tank war. No gassing out, throwing bombs at each other, throwing takedowns at each other. I mean, these guys were moving the way we expect middleweights to move. Husky and strong, but with a hell of a gas tank. One's heavyweight division is an absolute pleasure to watch. And Ali Akbari, who won his fight, I thought in dominant fashion, was one of the cusp guys from getting cut from one. This was kind of a statement win for him because his career had been kind of on a downturn. These heavyweights that they got and won are built different.
Interesting. You think we'll see it? You think we'll see a move to the UFC possibly from any of them?
I mean, I got to tell you, if Marcus Almeida moves to the UFC, those big boys better not be skipping jiu-jitsu class is all I know. Because
styles make fights, man. Styles make fights.
That man does not, he doesn't miss when he throws submissions. He really doesn't. And he does not move like a heavyweight. He doesn't move in that slow sort of lumbering pace. He doesn't gas out. This guy's been a jiu-jitsu competitor for, I think, 30 something years now. He ain't gas out. That's not what he does. This is what, he is a grappler through and through. They've got a few grapplers on there, wrestlers. I know Buchecha's opponent was a wrestler, was a big Greco-Roman wrestler. These are guys who are big, but built with gas tanks. They're built to go for distance. I got to tell you, if these guys go to the UFC, I think we could be looking at a totally different heavyweight landscape.
Interesting.
That's all I'm saying.
Bold take, Cotton.
Well, takeaway number 2, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson has re-engaged his GOAT status, fighting Mr. Moraes over there in a fight that Mighty Mouse had lost. And here's a fun fact for the fans at home who are UFC purists. We will all be well aware that in the UFC, a knee to a downed opponent is illegal. Can't do that. That's a no-no. Usually it ends in a disqualification, or at least a 5-minute talk about a disqualification. Yep. Not in one. That is not the case. Yeah. You are certainly allowed to knee your downed opponent in one. Last time Johnson and Moraes did the damn thing, Moraes kneed Johnson while he was belly down on the canvas and obviously knocked him out, taking the belt and handing Demetrius Johnson, I think, one of the 3 losses in his career and the first time he'd ever been knocked out. But you wouldn't have known it by watching Mighty Mouse on Friday night, man. This dude came out. I honestly think probably lost the first 2 rounds. Rice wrestling looked like it was going to be a little bit too much for him. Came out in the third round, started to open it up a little bit with the hands, started to really just like Mighty Mouse of old, right? Like he figured out the puzzle that you are, and now he was just going to pick you apart until he decided he was done with you. And we have seen this man throw flying arm bars in an octagon. We have seen him knock people out. It looked like Mighty Mouse of old, just doing the damn thing in the goatiest fashion that you've ever seen. And by the way, Maurice is like
Huge,
6 inches taller.
huge,
Huge,
huge.
huge
Looks like a
compared to
light.
Johnson. Yeah,
Yeah.
looks, moves, and presents as a lightweight. Fourth round, honestly, it was a pick 'em. It was a toss up. I don't know who won that round. It was a close one. Fifth round, Mighty Mouse comes out with the hands, sends Maurice backwards into the cage, stays patient, times a flying left knee to Maurice's face, and knocks him the fuck out
Yeah.
in dominant fashion. There was and you know he's left a lot of people's minds since he left the UFC, but there was a time 5 years ago when the real fans, the real homies, would tell you that Demetrius Johnson was probably the MMA GOAT. That he kind of got overlooked because he was in a smaller weight class. People weren't as interested in it. But I got to tell you, GOAT status re-engaged. This man is flawless in that cage.
Yeah.
Pure violence.
It's pretty wild for the people that don't know how Demetrius Johnson kind of entered the one frame. Was the trade, the infamous trade between Ben Askren and Demetrius Johnson. Basically,
how Dana feels.
The contracts were basically swapped. Ben Askren comes to the UFC. Mighty Mouse Johnson goes to one. I feel like it was a win-win scenario, though, right? I mean, Ben Askren blew up multiple guys' careers and then got out of Dodge, and Mighty Mouse is doing Mighty Mouse in one.
Yeah.
So I think it worked out for both parties. But yeah, man, it's always great to see Mighty Mouse, take a dub. I like seeing UFC guys win in other promotions. I'm always rooting for them.
Agreed. And that was somebody's sort of complaint that they had lodged about one was they felt like the American fighters, the former UFC fighters, they felt like one really worked hard to kind of make them look bad, to sort of jack up their own promotion and prop it up. So to see Demetrius Johnson holding it down for the longtime fans, you got to love that. And I posited the question in the blog, right? Like, how much more Demetrius Johnson are we going to see?
Yeah.
He answered it. He said he ain't done. He said he's ready to go. He'll fight again. So there will be more Demetrius Johnson in the future. And the one crowd, unlike the UFC crowd, which was never really interested in the 125-pound division, the one crowd, the one fans had no problem tuning in and watching that. And that brand loyalty, it gave them a treat. Ooh, what a fight.
Yeah.
Last takeaway. Fury grappling and events like it are good for MMA. And I'll make this one easy. I caught my second Fury grappling card live last night down in the 2300 arena in Philadelphia. Another fun night of jiu-jitsu. Fury has been really good about putting UFC guys in these big grappling matches to get people interested. And the guys I see grappling, most notably Alex Caceres, a striker, right? Not really known for his grappling. But I got to tell you, Alex Caceres took Clay Guida, a no nonsense, no bullshit wrestler, to a draw last night, and has said, right, this is fun for him, and he's going to continue doing it. So you have to imagine, right? The question now is, how much better is Alex Caceres grappling going to be next time he fights, right? Next time he's in a UFC cage, this is not the guy who maybe is only a one-dimensional striker. This guy's now added another level.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who went 5 rounds toe-to-toe with Yair Rodriguez, who's like one of the best strikers in the UFC, period. So, you start to add in a grappling element on a guy like that, and the sky's the limit, man. That's awesome to hear, too, because for people that know Clay Guida, relentless grappling, prowess that, you would think that he would absolutely dog Caceres. So that's interesting. Very interesting. And I'm looking forward to Caceres' next fight, whoever that may be in the UFC.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. Another guy I saw on the Fury grappling card was Kevin Holland, who, did a post-fight interview afterwards and said that he had a great time, had a lot of fun. and can't wait to do it again. This is another guy whose background is Kung Fu, right? Kevin Holland is a Kung Fu fighter, a part-time Batman. You start throwing grappling into this guy's resume. I mean, that's a dangerous man. Same for Caceres. I mean, you were making much dangerous fighters in an MMA context if you add grappling to that resume. So I think it's fantastic.
Love it.
What do you think, John Boy? Are there fights this weekend
In Paris.
in Paris?
We're going to Paris. We're going to Cyril Gane's homeland.
Je suis la jeune fille.
Good card they got for us.
It's a good card.
It's a good ass card they got for us. They got some heavy hitters in store. They brought the magic to France, and I think we're in store for a good one.
Well, I'll tell you, let's before we get into it here, and we'll start at the top with the main event here. I did hear from the fans that they did enjoy a little bit of a fun fact about the city that the card is happening in.
Okay.
And I don't have one as fun as soaking, because it's Paris and
how could you?
Right, they're drastically less sexually repressed than Utah is, so I don't have soaking. But I will say, if you're ever in Paris, the city of lights, there is a graveyard that contains several famous headstones, including Jim Morrison, lead singer of The Doors, Edith Piaf, famous singer from the 1940s, and Oscar Wilde, famous writer. So for those maniacs listening, there's a little fun thing to round you out this week. There's your fun fact about Paris.
I love that. Very nice.
Now, Cyril Gane taking on Tai Tuivasa, heavyweight division, 10-1 Gane, 14-3 Tuivasa. Yeah. You got to be excited about this one.
I am. I'm excited for it. I'm going to be honest with you. The odds surprise me a little bit, but at the same time, it's hard for me not to agree with them. I can imagine you know who the favorite is here, but
I'm gonna say Cyril Gane is the favorite.
He is the favorite, but he's minus 600.
Wow.
Which is a massive favorite. You're talking about 2 times bigger favorite than Usman was against Leon Edwards, to kind of give you an idea. This is going to play out solely on the feet. Both guys don't have a grappling resume whatsoever, and both guys like to keep it on the feet. I don't think the plus 400 is enough to entice me on Tai. I'll be honest with you. This might get a little bit of blowback, but I don't think Tuivasa is that good. I think that he's gotten some, I don't want to say lucky, but he's had a good path to kind of get to where he is right now. And I fully believe Cyril Gane wins every single round of this fight. And I actually think he makes it look really easy. So the more and more I dissect it, the more and more that minus 600 price tag is warranted for me. How are you feeling about this? You think Tai can land a lucky one?
Well, so here's the thing, right? And I'm going to tell you, I don't disagree with a single word that you've said. The only thing I would maybe give a little bit of pushback, and this is the littlest bit of pushback. Cyril Gane can grapple. He does have 2 submission wins in the UFC. He has a triangle choke and he has a heel hook. Not against anybody that is worth talking about, but to be able to throw a heel hook in an MMA fight at least tells me you can grapple, right? Yeah. If you have to, you can. I feel a little bit less confident in Tai Tuivasa's grappling ability, because he has 0 wins by submission ever. But no, I think you're 100% right. I think on the feet where this is going to be kept, and I think we've already seen it play out. We've already seen this fight. We just saw it with Derek Lewis, right?
Yeah.
Cyril Gane played the distance game well. He dismantled Derek Lewis over a period of time. Eventually, Derek Lewis gassed himself out, and then Gane just took him apart. And he made it look relatively easy. Tuivasa, who is a good fighter. He's a good fighter, but he is not a technical fighter like Gane is. Tuivasa is much more in the camp of Derek Lewis, which I'm going to go in there and I'm going to throw big blows. I'm going to take big shots in my quest to land a big shot. And if I touch your chin, you go night-night, I do shoey.
Bingo.
He's a fan favorite for that reason, and I get it. The same way Derek Lewis is a fan favorite for that reason. These guys are true knockout artists, maybe not true martial artists. And
Yeah.
I think, I think in this one, I think Gane is rightfully scored there, rightfully odds there as the favorite where he is. But if I woke up Sunday morning after a restful evening and you were like, oh my God, Tuivasa threw an overhand looping right and managed to catch Cyril Gane in the end of the second round, I'd be like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. It's what he does. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair, but let's be honest. That's really the only path to victory, right?
That's it. That's all he has. And I think everyone knows it.
Yep. Landing like an overhand looping right. He wants to engage in a barn burner. He wants it to be a war. Gane's better on the feet, just way better. Minds his P's and Q's, way more technical kickboxer. And like you said, he does have somewhat of a grappling repertoire if it did go there.
Which it never will.
Well, exactly. But if it does, Gane definitely has the advantage there. I can't get behind Tuivasa here. I think his illustrious run comes to an end. I'm on Cyril Gane here.
I am too, and that's hard for me to say. I am a Tai Tuivasa guy. I like him. Mr. Shuey, Mr. FTA from the area. I'm a big Tai Tuivasa guy. The pride and joy of my own NFT collection is Tai Tuivasa knocking out Greg Hardy. And I think we all owe Tai Tuivasa a great debt for doing that. We were all excited to see it, but
have you seen Greg Hardy? I know we're getting a little off track on this, but have you seen Greg Hardy?
Looks big.
Dude, he blew up. And he's boxing. He looks huge. Not in a good way either.
Not in a good way. No, not in a good way.
In a bad, blown up way.
Yeah, no. If it was anybody else, I'd say, damn, I feel for him. But it's Greg Hardy, so he can go fuck himself. And that's just the way that goes. That's just the way that is.
We've given Greg enough attention. Let's go to something else that deserves a bigger spotlight, and that's the co-main event that we got.
Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whitaker taking on Marvin Vettori. That's a barn burner in itself. That's a crackerjack.
That's a banger.
Gotta love it.
Who you got as a favorite here?
I would say that Vettori would be the favorite.
He is not.
Is he not?
Nope.
Interesting. Okay.
Whitaker minus 235.
Okay.
Vettori could be had for plus 185.
All right.
It's a 3-round co-main event.
Yeah.
This fight kind of reminds me of the main event for the one fact that I think Whitaker is better everywhere than Vettori. I think he's a more polished striker. I think he's a better grappler. Vettori is just kind of known for how tough he is, right? He can take a beating and he can dish it out. Because it's over the course of 3 rounds, Whitaker's looked good, man. Whitaker's looked pretty good as of late. I'm going to side with Bobby Knuckles here.
So, look, it's, obviously Bobby Knuckles has looked good. But the last time, I don't know. This is going to be a war of attrition, I think. I'm looking at 2 guys here who are good strikers. They're good fighters, but a lot of decision wins from both of these guys. So I think it's going to be a war of attrition. And I don't disagree with you in the war of attrition that Bobby Knuckles is probably the more skilled, more technical fighter. Obviously, both of these guys holding 2 losses to Israel Adesanya. This will kind of tell us who's maybe still hanging around in the top of the division there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you're right. I think Whitaker's probably the more technical fighter. I'm probably with Whitaker. I don't know. It's going to be a decision either way, I think.
I agree. I think it goes to a decision. I don't see either of these guys getting finished. I think Whitaker's just way, way more polished. He's been in there with guys very similar. I mean, he's been in there with the Yoel Romeros of the world. Marvin Vettori is nothing that Whitaker hasn't seen before. Whitaker really impressed me in that Kelvin Gastelum fight, where I was like, holy shit, he still got it. And Kelvin Gastelum's a guy who I have a ton of respect for. So that was a huge win. a huge feather in his cap. And that's all to be said, right? It's a 3-round fight. I'm going to go with the more skilled guy, especially when both of these guys are going to decisions, right? We basically just wrote the path how to approach this fight. Bobby Knuckles going to get it done this Sunday or this Saturday. Sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Go down the line.
We'll go down the line. Talk about Alessio Di Chirico versus Roman Kopylov.
Yup, Roman Kopylov, Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series guy.
Yeah.
Alessio Di Chirico, he's also Italian, right?
He is.
They put both Italians, Vittori and Di Chirico on the same card. This is a good fight. You got a favorite in this one?
Let's say. Well, you look at Di Chirico, he's 1-4 in his last 5.
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, I'm going to say Roman Kopylov.
It's a pick'em.
Okay.
It's a pick'em, and I'm going with Di Chirico here.
Are you?
I am. I think the resume is better. He got KO head kicked by Abdul Razak Al Hassan in 17 seconds in his last fight, which doesn't really tell you a lot. He got caught. He KO head kicked Joaquin Buckley before that. Zach Cummings is like a big grappler style type guy. Look at DiCicio's, we're obviously butchering his last name. Look at the Italian's resume. I mean, Kevin Holland,
I believe.
Mahmoud Maradov, Zach Cummings. Yeah. I mean, these are decent guys. Kopylov's resume doesn't even begin to measure Alessio. So when you give me a pick'em fight like that, I'm going to go with the veteran coming off of a loss that needs to get back in the win column. So yeah, I'm gonna side with this Italian, and I'm gonna fade the other Italian.
Yeah, fair enough. I have no reason to disagree with you there.
All right, down the line.
All right, tell me what's next.
We got John Makdessi and Nasrat Haqparast, who I was a massive fan of. Really, really, really good striker. Both of these guys are kickboxers. This is going to be a fun fight. Haqparast is a lot younger in his career. Makdessi is definitely at the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
This one's going to play out on the feet for sure. Do you have a favorite in this one?
I think it should be Haqparast, but I'm not sure.
It is Haqparast minus 230. Right. He's the favorite. I think he's the rightful favorite. I'm going with Haqparast here. I think he's going to be the better, more technical, younger striker. I think his career trajectory is going up. I think Makdessi's is going down. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's the obvious answer, right? Costa was the obvious answer. It's one of those things where we don't have to overlook it. It's right in front of us. I'm not going to look too much into it. Haqparast is my guy here, and I feel pretty damn good about it too at that number.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Really good.
I'm into that. Well, I'm excited about the next fight. I'm excited to see Air Charles Jourdain going up against Nathaniel Wood.
This is an interesting one.
This podcast is an Air Jourdain fan. Obviously, Air Jourdain coming off of a controversial majority decision loss to Shane Burgos only like a month and a half ago. So he got back out here quick. I don't know who the favorite is, but I'm going to say I think Air Jourdain should be the favorite. Is he?
You'd be correct. Minus 145. Nathaniel Woods and at plus 115.
And I got to tell you, I think Air Jourdain is going to be coming out throwing with bad intentions because he's got to be fucking furious about the way that Burgos fight went.
Yeah, I mean, Jourdain, he's a technical guy, but he likes to engage in wars, right?
Yeah.
Like he does lower you into that kind of, war mentality where it's who can take more shots, and we're going to leave it at that. Nathaniel Wood's a little bit more on the technical side. We saw it in the Charles Rosa fight where he's not going to really put himself in a lot of danger. And he's going to try and, he's going to point fight you away. He's going to have high volume that accumulates, and he's going to try and burn you out. It's an interesting matchup. I think if Jourdain can get him to kind of take the bait and kind of engage in a firefight, and what Jourdain really, really where his game's based around, that he should roll here. I like Air Jourdain here.
I do too. Yeah, I like Jourdain here.
I think he can get it done. I think the first round might be a little bit shaky. I think Nathaniel Wood could outpoint him and possibly pull away the first round. So this could be a good live bet opportunity. But I think as the second and third round go on and the gas tanks start to falter, that Jourdain's is the harder hitter. And I don't know, he's more of a I don't want to say more of a fighter, but he's more of a dog.
Yeah.
So for that reason, Charles Jourdain -145 is the play.
Yeah, I like that. What else you want to talk about on this card?
So I got one more fight written down. I got the Nasruddin Imavov and the Joaquin Buckley fight.
I figured you did.
Everybody knows Joaquin Buckley from the spinning back kick, heard around the world.
Yeah.
UFC's posted that video more than any video I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I like Nasruddin Imavov. I think he's a very good fighter. I think Joaquin Buckley gets a little bit too much respect for that KO knockout. I think a lot of casual fans ride high on that. Do you have an idea who the favorite is in this one?
I mean, I think, well, based on that, reading the context clues, is Buckley the favorite?
Nasruddin Imavov is the favorite.
Okay. That's what I think he should be the favorite.
Agreed. -260. Buckley could be had for +215. I think Imavov's the better fighter. I think he'll eventually wear Buckley down. But I don't know if -265 is enticing for me. There's a couple other numbers on the card that I like more. But look for me on Twitter this week. I'm going to post like a little note draft of kind of who I like, and I'm going to circle it. It's going to be a first time for the 10-8 round pod. Follow the Twitter handle, and right. I'll get those picks out there this week.
I mean, I gotta say, and I haven't been following the statistics, but I gotta say, if you listen to John Boy on the 10-8 pod and you let him tell you how to bet fights, I got to imagine you're plus money right now, right? I got to imagine you've turned a profit.
I mean, for the fights that we've covered over the last 22 so odd episodes, yeah. I mean, it's been good. It's streaky though. It's a game of peaks and valleys. You can't get too high on yourself. You can never pat yourself on the back, because as soon as you do that, you are screwed. So, take every fight. Don't break your bet margin. Take every fight with a grain of salt, and don't think your shit doesn't stink.
Well, I was walking off a pier one day in the South Shore of Long Island, where I grew up, angry that I hadn't brought in a fish, looking down at the ground, feeling dejected. And the old man pats me on the top of the head and he says, "Hey, son, if you caught something every time you went out there, they wouldn't call it fishing. They'd call it catching."
Hell yeah. It's not fun if you win every time, right?
That's it. It is the sweet taste of victory and the bitter sting of defeat that keeps us all coming back for more. It's a drug. You love it. And while John Boy's still giving these tips away for free, I would say you listen to him, because at the end of the day, you're turning a profit.
Hey, I mean, I've said it before. If what you're thinking is lining up with my train of thought and we're both on the same page, let the chopper sing, man. It's just a little bit more it's a little bit more, it adds up. It's like, okay, we're both on the same page. Let's let it go. But tail at your own risk, and have some fun with it. Entertainment first, obviously. And that's what it's about, baby. It's about having a good time and maybe pocketing a little bit of extra cash along the way.
Speaking of having a good time, you know who's having a great time out on his super yacht? Conor McGregor. Woo! You see that?
I think the only thing more surprising than the Leon Edwards left high kick was Conor McGregor's Instagram story yesterday.
Oh, for the fans who were fortunate enough to not see it. Unfortunately, John and I have watched the tape. it is, I think, fairly clear that what we are looking at is a long-haired brunette individual performing oral sex on Conor McGregor
Mm.
on a yacht. Beyond that, I have no answers. I think it is. I think the going rationale, the going belief is that it is D, his wife, who is performing the sex act. A few jokesters on MMA Twitter wondered where Dylan Dennis had gotten himself a brunette wig on such short notice. And a few mean-spirited types on MMA Twitter posed the question, was that Jolie Poirier? I can assure you it was certainly not Jolie Poirier.
She,
I am sure that she is home with her fantastic husband living the American dream, diamond style. But wow, what's what's up with the homie, man? What is up with Conor McGregor?
I don't know, dude. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, I guess. I mean,
Gotta be.
the guy has absolutely no shame. He always has. That's kind of the reason we all love him. But my brother, what the fuck was that? What?
Get it together, cousin.
I mean, and it wouldn't be as bad if the posts the previous day were about family and trust and all of this persona, and then that to follow. The guy's all over the place, but yeah, I mean, you can take what you will with that. I don't know if he took that down. I don't know if that video is still surfacing. But
No, he did take it down.
I don't know if you could still find the clip somewhere on social media, but it's probably worth your time to just, I don't know,
Avoid it.
take it probably to take
Yeah.
a glimpse of where Conor McGregor's head's at. Um, I feel like I quote this every single time, every time we do the pod, but power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And when you have a Lamborghini mega yacht, some shit gets to your head, Zach, I could imagine.
I have to imagine, man. I hope he set up a college fund for his kids already, and I hope he doesn't have access to it. I really do, because I got to imagine he's got some habits right now that are known to burn through the bank account just a little bit quicker than your average trip to the billiards hall. Oof. Well, in more interesting MMA news, there seems to be a discrepancy. Poirier, Iron Michael Chandler, UFC 281, Madison Square Garden. Is it happening? Do you know?
I mean, usually when the UFC releases a pre-sale on a ticket, you'd imagine that they'd want to have one of their biggest draw co-main events announced prior to doing so. So it's a little bit confusing from a marketing standpoint. It's not something the UFC usually does. But we can confirm that Dustin Poirier said on Twitter that he is fighting on that card. He didn't necessarily name an opponent. He didn't necessarily say it was Michael Chandler, but he did say that he will be in the building that night ready to fight. Do what you will with that information, but kind of a head scratcher. Kind of, it's a little concerning, maybe.
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, I hope it happens.
I love it.
It's the fight.
I love it.
It's the fight to make. So
it's definitively the fight to make. I mean, it's the fight everybody wants. Yeah, I mean, the Diamond fans on MMA Twitter are foaming at the mouth.
Yeah,
those people are truly rabid individuals, and big shout out to them. But yeah, they are ready to see the Diamond in there.
People are forgetting just how good Dustin Poirier is. This is a guy who's finished Justin Gaethje, finished Eddie Alvarez. We know Eddie Alvarez and Gaethje have had wars with Chandler.
Yeah.
Coming out victorious too. So do not sleep on the Diamond. A lot of people are high on Michael Chandler right now, but if there's anybody to stop him in his tracks, it would be Dustin Poirier.
Well, speaking of Michael Chandler victims,
there we're on the same.
Yeah, we can't let the moment pass without announcing that the Leech will be fighting El Kukui, Tony Ferguson. This excites my spirit and it hurts my heart. That's what it does.
It's a little bit concerning.
Yeah.
For Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Right? To go up to 170 and fight a guy like the Leech on your debut fight,
That's a tough paper route.
I mean,
Ooh.
I seen Ferguson's at Jackson Wink right now.
He is,
He changed his camp up. That's the first time he's ever done that.
which I think is the right call.
Yeah, it's the right call. I mean, maybe they see that there's like a grappling advantage that they can exploit. We've seen the Leech, get taken down, and that's kind of the path to victory to beat him. But to go up a weight class and try and do it, Jesus, El Kakui is El Kakui for a reason. I mean, respect, but that's a tough fight. I'm really curious how that one gets lined. I don't know if there's a line out for that one. But something tells me I'm going to be riding with our homeboy, the 10-8 round podcast, Li Jingliang.
Yeah, well, Li Jingliang is the Leech is obviously he is a friend, a homie, a legit guy of the 10-8 round pod. And this excites my spirit because obviously El Kakui and the Leech are both guys who went to Outworld in Mortal Kombat and got their Shang Tsung fucking mysticism fighting style. These guys are both just freakish in the way that they fight, talented in the way that they win. And I think that there is potential on the table for a really, really cool battle to see. But it hurts my heart because I'm going to have to pick somebody. I'm going to have to pick someone. And I think it's going to be the Leech. And I do not like living in a world where I got to pick against El Kakui. I don't like that world, but that's the world that we live in.
And then too, one last thing to mention on that fight too is kind of a reoccurring pattern is Tony Ferguson got slept in his last fight, right? You're talking about a guy who's never been KO'd before, who absolutely got slept.
Yeah.
And then he's going up a weight class to fight a guy who literally sleeps people at 170 all the time.
Yeah.
That is, dude. I did not see that one coming. That one came out of left field. Can't wait to watch it. Super high octane. It's going to be a hell of a fight for as long as it lasts. But goddamn, Tony. Not taking any layups, my man.
No, this is El Kakui for a fucking reason.
Yep.
He is about that life. And he snatched a soul or two in his time. So who knows? Maybe that step up in weight is what he needs, right? I mean, it's been the cure for a lot of guys who that weight cut just starts to deplete their power meter a little bit. They come up a little bit, they're eating a little bit better, but it's also been kryptonite for a lot of guys who thought, oh, maybe if I'm walking around a little bit bigger, maybe I'll have a little more power. And they found out just how much power the guys above them were really bringing. So it could go one of two ways. I'll be tuning in either way. You want to try this new one? You want to try this little new segment we were kicking around?
Sunday sit down hot takes. Worst hot takes we've heard.
The worst MMA take of the week.
Yeah. So I got a juicy one. I heard today that basically the writing is on the wall for a Conor McGregor Nate Diaz 170-pound title fight. If you're wondering how that would work out, basically Nate Diaz would have to beat Khamzat Chimaev, then Leon Edwards would have to beat Kamaru Usman, and then Leon Edwards would fight Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz wins that fight. Conor comes back and is the first person to win 3 belts in 3 different weight classes in the UFC. Worst take you've heard in a while? Yes or no?
Yeah, probably. And worst take of the week, I'm going to join you on that one because you heard it today in person. I have seen it this week on Twitter. So I'm going to join on the worst take of the week. That is it. The amount of time that would take to orchestrate, the amount of things that need to go right. First of all, Leon Edwards has already beat Nate Diaz. Beat him in convincing fashion, except for the last 30 seconds of round 5 when they fought each other. Khamzat Chimaev is a rabid dog who is about to be let off the leash against Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz has 1 fight left on his contract and has never really gotten along with the management well of the UFC anyway. And Conor McGregor is getting blowjobs and doing coke on a Lamborghini yacht somewhere in the fucking Mediterranean. So I don't know where people are getting this from. I don't know why they're so sure of it. I gotta tell you, I'm starting to wonder if Conor McGregor's ever going to fight MMA again.
I
I
mean,
don't think he is.
I think he does. I think all roads do eventually lead to McGregor just because it's a follow the money trail. I mean, Oliveira is already clamoring for the fight. You hear him saying, I got to beat Islam Makhachev to fight Connor. Like Connor's like the title fight or something. Obviously, right? At the end of the day, these guys are prize fighters. So they're looking for that paycheck. So McGregor is always, he's always going to be in play for that reason. So you can never count him out. Nothing is too far fetched except for that hot take. Freezing cold take, probably.
Cold take.
Agreed.
John Boy, what else you got for the week? Anything?
Other than Stephen Thompson picking and choosing who he fights when he's the number 6 welterweight in the world, I mean, there's really not
that Rakhmonov fight.
Nobody wants Shavkat Rakhmonov. Nobody wants to fight that guy at 170. He's going to be a guy that's going to come up the ranks soon. And Hamzat Chimaev, Shavkat Rakhmonov. What a fight that would be.
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
That's a war.
Oh my goodness. Sign me up for that one.
Yeah,
But,
tune in. Take my money. I'm watching. Oh,
UFC's in good hands coming forward, and we got a barn burner this Saturday, and it's an early card as well. It's an early card as well.
3 p.m.
Which is great. You wake up, you got the prelims on as soon as you get up, and there's no better way to start the morning.
That's it. Well, homies, thank you for joining us on another episode. And in case nobody else reminds you this week, call your mother, tell her you love her, because we out.
Peace.